Welcome to The Engaging Life, a podcast about using engagement equity to improve your relationship building skills in your personal and professional life. And now, here are your hosts, Brandon Suba and Angela Cheney.
Angela, how many favorite topics do I have?
Innumerable.
Today, I can
this really is your favorite
truly
topic?
say this is my favorite. I've presented on this. I want to make myself sound really fancy. I have presented on this. I have done this on the radio show. I've done other podcasts about this. But this topic, I learned in the networking world. I mean, it's pretty obvious where it comes from. I'm going to focus a lot on the networking world. Of course, you can bring in the personal side because I do believe, especially if you're dating, that this concept plays big into it. Do you want to guess what it is?
BD. That's an inside joke. He sent me a text about what he was doing, his podcast on his topic today. And
it's not a disease. It is
I misread
a way
it.
of life. It is
a way of life.
VCP. VCP. And I know, do you know what those three stand for?
I do not.
Really?
Yes, really. That's why I asked if it was about VD.
Wow. You reiterated that.
It's not like you said VIP.
I feel you've had to sit through these presentations and or listen to me talk about
Was
this.
it VSP?
No. That's
VCP?
vision. No. But yeah, VCP. Yes, that is what it
No.
is.
Oh, yeah. That actually was it. I'm sure once you tell me, I'll know the concept, but I've never.
Visibility, credibility, profitability.
Oh, okay.
Right? Ring a bell at all? I can't believe you haven't.
I'm sure I've heard it at some point.
Now you're just trying to make me feel better. That's okay.
I have heard it at some point, like 2 minutes ago.
Okay, well, now we've
okay.
lost all momentum going in. No, we're going to keep going. So visibility, credibility, profitability. I learned this in my early days when I was training people, we called it member success program, but basically as people are coming into the networking world with businesses, this was the concept to help them guide to success. Because ultimately, if you're investing money and time into a referral group, what do you want out of it? Profitability, right? You want referrals that are closing. So the reason that I love this topic is the more I worked on it, the more I taught it, I guess, or preached on it, the more I saw in real life this plays huge also. Now, dating's the easiest one because dating and networking and business are very similar, I feel.
How can your date be profitable? If they buy your dinner?
Well, there you go.
Okay.
Right? Or no. See, and that's where, and we'll talk about this when we get
If they
near
buy
the
you
end.
shiny things?
Profitability looks different to everyone.
Okay.
So maybe a second date or a marriage or a relationship that came out, it could be profitability. But we have missed the first two letters of the acronym. So let's jump back. Okay. So visibility. From networking events, networking groups, first dates, making new friends, all of these things fall under visibility. Because what is the first thing you do when you meet with someone? And going to the bare bones here, you see them, right?
Correct.
Okay. And I think that's why video conferencing was so important during pandemic time, because we still needed that visual. You still needed to visibly see who the person was to make a connection, especially in sales and networking, all of that. Visibility is very important.
And that's why dating apps are so important.
Oh, boom, pictures, right?
Because you need to, there's no way to get in front of that many single people on your own.
To be visible to all of them, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. So visibility, why is this important? Okay. Number one, people see you, they can portray who you are. If you only hear my voice, tell you the truth, when I onboard new clients, my ultimate goal is to meet with them face-to-face first and have everybody involved. And then after that, we can do everything via email, phone, I don't care. Because if you get a phone call from me and you have no idea who I am, I come off as a too excited salesperson.
No.
Yes, I've been told this. I've been told this.
Yeah.
And the thing of it is, I'm just excited to be talking to someone, but that comes off as fake. Right?
Mm-hmm.
But if you see the excitement and you can see that I'm literally jumping out of my seat just to talk about, I don't know, your new car or something, then there's that connection of, okay, no, this is how this guy always is.
It is. Yeah. It's authentic.
Bingo. Okay. So visibility. So you just paid money to be in this group and they meet, I don't know, every Friday at 9 and you never go to the meetings. What is your success rate?
Very low.
Very low because you're not even the visibility. So in the simple business sense is they know who you are and they know what you do.
Okay.
So in the entering stages of networking and I talk about events a lot because I think people fumble more in events than they do at organizations because you can mess up a couple times and get another chance. You kind of only get one comes. So if you're not showing up and you're not going to these things, you cannot expect results.
Correct.
Plain and simple. Plain and simple. And if you've invested money and you're not going, it blows my mind how people will pay to be in a group and then not show up.
Mm-hmm.
And then not show up. Now, they don't complain they didn't get results. They usually know. But if you're not showing people who you are and what you do, then you stand no chance to get the business. And that was a harsh reality for me when I was doing digital marketing here because I thought I had all this visibility.
Mm-hmm.
And I was thinking, this is going to be easy because now I'm going to use my quote that hey, I can help everyone, right? And what I learned very quickly was I can't just make one little post on Facebook or I think I did a live one time. After I went rollerblading or something, I'm like, this is going to get all these views. It's going to be so motivating. Nothing. I mean, nothing. I think I got like 1 thumbs up. That's it. So it's very early stages, but it's the most important because once again, if I don't know who you are and what you do, I can't refer you, period. That's very easy.
Right.
So when you make an investment of time or money into an organization, and this is even outside the business world, go. Mm-hmm. You have to show up. And I know that sounds dumb, but we live in the world of distractions and reasons not to go.
Yeah, people aren't going to remember, even if you make a great first impression, and you might think, hey, that's going to be good for the next 6 months.
Run that one, baby.
It's not.
It's not. No. And if you think about it too, even visibility on social media, I think stands somewhat of a contender here because there are people I know, real estate agents, and I know them much better. Now it's social media, so I don't really know them, but I know their name better because they post all the time. Mm-hmm. And and that is straight up visibility.
Absolutely.
So if you're sitting at your desk and you're hoping for the best, probably not going to get the results that you want.
Nope.
You're not visible to anyone.
No.
All right.
And to relate this more to the marketing world, you have to know who to be visible to because and dating too. If you're on Farmers Only and you live in Omaha and don't want to move,
actually,
those are the wrong people to be visible to.
Nope, that's not a valid one.
Why?
Because we have farmers that live in Omaha.
Yeah, but for the most part, I think that's a rule.
If you're on Farmers Only and you live in Vermont, I think then you're missing
or LA. How's that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that'd probably be a good one too.
So maybe in your case, you were very visible, but not to the people who needed marketing services.
Very good point.
It was the wrong market. So you can't be visible to everyone unless you're Donald Trump. I mean, there are some people that, you can be visible to everyone.
Well,
or a movie star. But
then you're famous, and that's
right.
Different.
That's different. But you need to know who to be visible to. So in what you're talking about being visible to the people in your group.
Correct.
To create familiarity, to start building those bonds. But then you probably want to take that further and say, okay, there's 3 people in this group who I want to go even deeper. So I need more visibility there, which means one-on-one, go to their open houses, go to their events.
Look at all these visible things. And see, I think people see it more as a task. Like I went to this and I did this, but no, you went to this and how many people saw you?
Right. And that person saw you. I mean, you can't undersell the importance of when somebody's having something and you just walk in the door and are seen there, that carries so much weight. You're giving so much value.
Yep.
I took time out of my day to come to your event, whether it's going to benefit me or not. And that means a lot to people.
It does. And never underestimate the power of I went to an open house for a real estate agent and I maybe said 3 words to the actual person, but they remembered I was there.
Yeah. Yeah. It doesn't matter. You go, you make sure you're seen, don't just go and then leave, talk to a few other people, whatever, but just showing up. I mean, we've had people who have come to an event for literally 10 minutes. And then had to leave to go do something else, but at least they showed up.
Correct. They gave you all the time they had to spare.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So visibility, super important, I think, across the world, because nobody knows who you are unless they can see who you are.
Right.
Unless is that Sia? Was she the artist the singer, she didn't show her face?
I don't know.
So that she broke the rule of visibility. But you're not Sia, ladies and gentlemen.
No one is.
You're not
except Sia.
famous. All right. So we're visible. People know who I am and what I do. Still not getting referrals, though.
Well, what do you do next, Brandon?
Glad you asked, Angela. So the next part of the process, and I was originally taught this as an equation, and then I was taught it as a infinity. Because you can't say it's
There's
like
no
culture.
start and end point.
Right. You can't say, okay, well, you saw me and then I gained a little credibility and I should have profitability. So it is different with everyone.
Okay.
But let's talk about credibility. So to me, I'm gonna use the analogy. I use this a lot. Credibility. It's like a tight wire. Okay? You know,
A tight rope.
tight rope.
Okay.
Wire rope. Whatever you choose for today.
I've never heard tight wire.
Okay, so a tightrope. So, Angela, if you're walking on a tightrope and you're doing good,
High wire.
high wire?
You
Did I? Oh, I do that a lot.
You did the combining
Put
thing.
two together.
Yep.
Okay, tightrope. I'll stick with that then,
Yes.
since it's the proper one. All right, so you're walking. I wonder how many times I've messed it up in a presentation.
Probably a couple.
Probably every time.
Hmm.
Okay, so you're walking on a tightrope. When you fall off in the middle of a tightrope, what do you have to do?
Get back up.
Okay, and how
Go to the
easy is
doctor.
that? Oh my lid! No, you're holding on. You didn't fall.
Oh, okay.
And you're not over the Grand Canyon here. You're just learning. But if you fall off, what do you have to do?
Get back on it.
Get back on it. And what do you have to do to get back on it? Like, can you just jump in the middle of it?
I guess it depends on how high it is. You have to start at the beginning?
Yes.
Okay.
I finally got it out of you.
Maybe you should have had notes. I should have been coached before this.
No, this is beautiful. This is the beauty of an organic podcast, ladies and gentlemen. I have no notes. And you can see that on our YouTube page if you'd like.
These are my notes.
These are her notes.
Yes.
Okay, so you got to go back to the beginning. It's very, very hard to jump back on the middle of a tightrope.
Okay.
Yeah, tightrope. That's the
Correct.
proper. A tightrope because of balance. Okay, now let me translate this into a relationship.
See where you're going?
So I'm in a group and somebody gave me a referral. I'm so excited about this referral, but as I was walking out, little do you know, I'm actually headed to an international vacation with Liz, and my one job was to go get the passports. So after I left that group, I ran and I went and got the passports, and I completely forgot about this referral that was given to me.
Okay.
Now, next week, I was already on my international vacation. So the person that gave me the referral did not have the opportunity to communicate with me because, one, wasn't at the group. Two, not really easy to get a hold of because I'm international now and I'm not really checking emails.
Are you Mr. Worldwide?
Prestige worldwide. Wait, what were we going for on that one? That one? Or
I was going with Pitbull.
Pitbull. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
You're not Pitbull?
I'm not.
Okay,
I'm
done.
not. If you we're
We
done.
are done.
Now we got
here.
fired. Okay, so now it is the third week since I have received this referral. I had gone on vacation. I had a phenomenal time. I go to the group. I'm doing open networking. I'm talking about all the fun we had. What is the person that gave me the referral? What's their first question?
Did you follow up with XYZ?
Awesome. And then I go, oh my gosh, Angela, I am so sorry. I had to get passports. I didn't, but I will call them today.
Okay.
What happened to my credibility?
It went down.
I fell on the tightrope.
Mm-hmm.
And generally, I can try to jump back in, right? Like I'll call them today. But what if your commission was being held up because I didn't do my piece that you trusted me with?
Yeah.
Okay. So now my credibility, I'm back to the beginning with you. And in the whole equation we're talking about here, or acronym, I'm back to visibility with you, right?
Right.
And now it's even the mindset of, oh, I gave Brandon a referral once. He kind of fudged it up. I'm just not comfortable right now.
I would go so far as to say you're not back at the beginning. You're even further back. Like the tightrope got longer.
Love it. I love it. I'm down on the ladder.
Yeah.
Now I got to climb up the ladder to get better up there. And what people don't realize, there's two things people don't realize. One, they don't realize when they have lost or killed their credibility. And that happens a lot with you're not showing up to meetings. You're very inappropriate at meetings. It blows my mind how people don't see the things they say and the actions they make reflect onto your referrals.
Oh, absolutely.
Like,
Absolutely.
If you're creepy, I'm not comfortable sending you to referrals.
No.
Right?
And people get too comfortable
Yes. Yep.
in those groups a lot and think they can say things.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people aren't, I'm going to pat myself on the back. I think I'm a really good judge of character, and I
I agree
know,
with that.
I sit back and wait before I really unleash all of the Angie. And in some cases don't. I kind of know when I can curse. I kind of know when I
Right.
can say off-color things, and then I know when you can't.
Yep.
But not everybody has that. Or you get too comfortable, and maybe you can say it in front of the majority of the group, but there's one person who doesn't really love it, and maybe they have a clergy member they want to refer to, but you're cursing in the...
You ain't gonna get it.
Yeah.
Well, and then I've seen, and I've done this too, you get wrapped up in the inappropriate, and then you make a comment that you would never make, and now you've just said it to everyone. And unfortunately, this is where people don't realize your credibility went back a little today with however many people in the room, and you don't even know. And then there's blatant times when you know you lost your credibility. There was a group that I was in, and we were filling the real estate agent seat. And of course, I had someone, and this other person had someone. And I thought it was just swimmingly a great decision. Their person didn't get chose, mine did. It made sense. I thought it was great. Did a 1-to-1 with the person that invited the other agent. And at the end of it, I was like, so, how can I help you? And she goes, I'm still very offended on how you treated my real estate agent. And I realized then my credibility was shot with them because of how things panned out, and how I don't think I dealt with it horribly, but obviously somehow I dealt with it. So that was one of those, I was blatantly told, you lost credibility with me.
Doesn't normally happen.
It doesn't. No,
they will just keep it to themselves, and you'll wonder why you're not getting referrals.
So it's almost nice when they're blatant.
Oh, absolutely.
And I told her, I said, look, I obviously have lost credibility with you. My goal is to earn that back.
Yeah.
Wish me luck. I didn't say that, but because then you got to play the game of how do you win it back? And then we're not going to talk about that on this podcast.
Sometimes you just got to let it go too.
I can't. So that's real tough. No, that was one of those, that specific situation. At first, I was like, oh, crap. And then as I reflected on it more, I'm like, well, there were other factors that played in. It wasn't just me making the decision I chose my person.
Right.
It was a group decision, and that person just didn't get theirs. Person chose. Okay. So credibility. So many different ways to build your credibility, and that is support, going to the event. A lot of the times when you're building visibility, it is by default building credibility. One-to-ones, the questions you ask, not always the results that you give, I think build stronger credibility.
Absolutely, yeah.
Because I find people that are so desperate to give that referral, they give a bad one, and then that hurts.
That's worse than not giving one.
Now, if you're not proactively meeting with somebody and saying, okay, I haven't found a referral for you yet. We've been in this group together for 3 years. Let's dig in deeper. Like we're missing something. That's gaining credibility.
Oh, absolutely.
Gaining credibility. So there are so many things we can do to gain credibility, but I think there's more. Let me rephrase that. Gaining credibility is a jog, right? A journey.
Okay.
Losing credibility is a sprint. It can happen like that.
Right.
Happen like that. And it's because of how you made someone feel, think, or the experience that you gave them.
So let's take that to the dating world.
Let's take it to the dating world.
So many ways you can lose credibility there. Don't show up for a date. Say you're going to call and don't call.
Yep.
Ask them just to come over to your house and never take them anywhere. I had that happen many times.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
That's boring.
Well, it was a lot of things. None of them good. I mean, it said a lot.
Don't ever open the locked closet door.
Again, none of it good. It was.
Yeah.
I don't have any. That was one of them. I don't have any money. Well, we could still do something.
Yeah.
One of it, there was just never any explanation for it. It was just, we never, and I was like, am I deformed? Are you embarrassed to be seen with me in public? Another one, I think it was that he had a girlfriend.
Oh, so you don't want exposure because,
So like I said, none of it good. So
yeah.
Dating advice to those who may be dating, if they never want to take you out.
Red flag.
Yeah. Never leads anywhere good. Don't go. If the first invite is to their home, don't go.
Wow. I feel you took the segue just to send this PSA, which is great. But no,
really didn't.
It's the same concept though. You're going to go further in a relationship with somebody that's gaining your credibility personally, right? Like they are interested enough to say, oh, I know I don't have a lot of money, but would you like to go to a picnic at a park?
Right. And that's the same thing, that they can start earning it, and then they can do one terrible thing that puts them right back at the beginning. Or they can do something that's not all that bad. They didn't text you for 2 days and then you find out their grandma died or something like that. That's like, okay, they lost credibility, but they were able to jump right back up onto, pretty much the same part of the rope, wire.
Rope. Tight rope, wire.
Correct.
We're just mixing words here. I am. You're not. And that's where too, the strength of your credibility does play into what you have to do to get back onto the rope. Mm-hmm. It isn't always going back to the beginning. But for the most part, it is. You just have to assume that you are back to the beginning, because then you're going to put forth the effort to get back where you were. Where if you're just like, oh no, Angie and I are cool. I know I blew this, but she'll be fine. Probably not.
No.
Probably not. Or you can have the hard conversation. And that's where I think I've seen credibility come back quicker is, hey, I messed up. I don't expect you to... You feel how you feel, but just know I would love to see our relationship get back to where it was.
Yeah.
And I think in dating, that's harder because whatever you did in the dating world, because with business, I forgot to call a referral. Okay.
Right.
It does happen.
It's not that. And people don't take it nearly as personal.
Correct. But in dating, I mean, if you used my washcloth to wipe your butt when you came over like that, I'm not. Oh, maybe that's why they'd only invite you to the house.
But I feel that one too is a lot of the times the person who lost the credibility, then they get defensive and blame it on the other person. Oh,
what?
Really? You expect to call all you're high maintenance, or really you can't, and talk about and a lot of people fall for that. Oh, maybe they're right. Maybe he didn't say he was going to call, or maybe. That's the worst. That's the worst thing you can do. It's not just be like, "Hey, I dropped the ball here." It's to start making excuses or to blame it on the other person.
And that just hacks away that credibility even more.
Oh yeah.
And here's the whole point of this: you can rarely get to profitability if you lose or you don't have the strength of credibility. Mm-hmm. And that's why I hate seeing people get into networking groups and their first week say, oh my gosh, Angela, you asked to meet the CEO of OPPD? That's a buddy of mine. Here's the referral.
Right. I've not earned that.
We have no credibility. Oh yes, let's go to the deposit and earning. Like there's no credibility. I would tell people in the early trainings, don't give out a referral your first few months.
No.
No one's earned it on your side for you. And on the flip side of it, you're coming in pretty desperate here.
Yeah, yeah.
It just doesn't look good. And there's no established. You could give a referral to the worst person in the room and then kill your credibility with a whole business.
Absolutely. Yeah. Don't do it.
So working on your credibility and being aware of that can lead to profitability. But as we said at the beginning, profitability looks different for everyone. And it took me 6 years to watch people in the networking groups and talk to them. So profitability for a piano salesman in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. Okay. We'll say, just to give you kind of a reference, 5-year membership.
Okay.
How many years do you think it was before he got his first referral?
4?
Close. 3. So in his 3rd year as a member, he got his first referral, and it was from someone in a different group, same organization, different group, and they were camping together. So I asked him, I'm like, so what value, because you're paying each year,
right?
You're coming to all the meetings. He was on leadership, so he would do more. And he simply looked at me and he goes, I am sitting in a piano business all day long. This gets me out. This gets me networking, and not even the connection piece, but just being around other people makes me better. I was like,
great.
All right, man. You're in a positive business environment. You can afford it. Good for you.
And so profitability looked different for him.
Correct.
It was not just monetary.
Nope. Because a lot of the times people join, they're in 1 year, they got nothing, they leave.
Oh, yeah.
And that you're not supposed to do that. You're really not. Because, and I've seen this, your next week was probably when you were going to get that referral. But you didn't show up.
Right.
And you left. Right? So that's probably...
And then you have to start all over with a completely new group of people.
Oh, I have a whole analogy for that one. Not today. Not today.
Not today, people.
So then when you look at profitability as monetary, though, right? Like money. I want referrals that are closing. Okay. That is 80% on you, 20% on the group. It's what you're saying, doing, asking, the activities that you're doing. And you can only do so much of that where then the other person has to act on their part, right? Like they have to make the connection, give the introduction, whatever that looks like. But if you are visible and they know who you are and what you do, you've built credibility by doing, and honest, I've been saying honestly a lot. If you listen to previous podcasts that we do, it will get you in the credibility stage. It will help you in the credibility stage because that's what we focus a lot on, right?
Absolutely.
And engagement equity, it's all about making, I'm pointing to the side, it's all about making the deposits so you have the right to make the withdrawal. Credibility is the same dang thing.
Yeah.
You're earning the right to ask for that referral. And if you don't have the deposits in it, you're probably not going to get it.
Right.
But if you are deep enough into the credibility stage, that's when you're more likely to get that amazing referral that I never thought anybody would ever give me. But they trust you and they're excited to give that
they
referral.
want to. Yeah.
They want to. Yes, you've earned it. Where most of the time people kind of ignore the visibility, right? I showed up a couple times. They think credibility is just, yep, we have a one-to-one.
I am in the group.
Yep.
So I'm credible.
Oh gosh, that's right. Right. So there's my credibility. Great. And then I should get the profitability. Where the most successful networkers I've ever met, they spend a bunch of time in visibility. They focus and strategically do the credibility, and they see the profitability of it.
Yep. That's how it has to work.
VCP, not
BD.
Nope, not a disease. Not a disease. All right, any final thoughts on that? Like I said, I love ripping this one apart, but I don't want to steal any of your thunder here.
Nope, I think that's good. And going back to the relationship, you're not going to propose
on your first date.
Yep. Because you have not earned it. Yep. You are not credible. And so you can't get that, let's say marriage is the profitability you're looking for. You haven't earned it. You haven't established the credibility. So it's the same way. It's a long journey. It's worth it. But you got to do the right things on that journey.
So as you are finishing out your years of goals, because I don't know when you're going to be listening to this. If you listen to it live, then we can say when you finish out 2022. But if you're listening to this and you randomly found us, wherever you are at with when you're going to finish your goals, think about how much you can do now with the VCP process, with who you're already talking to, and what that is going to look like when you go to kind of see how you did for the year, versus if you keep doing what you're doing now, you're probably not focused strategically on those. All right, so we like reviews.
We do.
We like shares.
We do.
Tell your friends about us.
We like subscriptions.
We love subscriptions because then you get a new Engaging Life podcast in your podcast player every single week.
Every single week.
We do this every week. Thank you very much. And with that, then, I look forward to talking to you on the next podcast.